carb heat's off, we're climbing up, we're at full power. This aircraft should be climbing around 100 miles an hour, so I'm going to roll that trim up. So 3,500 feet is going to be our level off. We level off, and you can take as many notes as you want. I'll write this down for you later. Pitch. So we pitch down to stop the climb. There, climb is stopped. Power. Power back to 23 or so. And then trim. We adjust our trim to where the nose isn't coming up or down or anything. Okay? Got the pitch. The pitch is right where I want it because it's frozen that altimeter. And I can see outside it looks about level. The nose keeps coming up a little bit, so I'm going to roll that trim down a little bit. There we go. There's pitch, power, trim, tiny climb. Push that trim down a little bit more. See if that holds it. Nope, still needs a little more. Okay, that's pretty good. That's good enough. It's holding our altitude to where the nose isn't doing anything crazy when we let go. And you do have to fine tune it. The best pilots in the world are sitting there constantly just barely touching the trim. So that's pitch, power, trim. Second, cruise checklist. So cruise checklist is power, mixture, fuel tank. And that's in the checklist itself. So power, well, we got our power set already. It was supposed to be 23. We're going to readjust because it popped up a little bit. That's normal. Now power is exactly at 23. Mixture, so we lean by pulling the mixture back until the engine starts to sputter. There it is. And then we push it back in some. Okay? Mixture's lean, and then fuel tank. So we do fuel pump on, which is right there. Fuel pump's on. Fuel pump, swap the tank, and then fuel pump off. Okay? That's our cruise checklist. Now we're going to do our maneuvers. I'm sitting here at the holding 3,500 feet. I just got to make sure that I check that every once in a while. Check my power every once in a while. Make sure it stays exactly at 23. This is actually a really good simulation of an airplane. Now I want to clear the area. So I'm going to look out the window. I'm going to turn to the right. So I'm clearing the area of the right. Make sure there's no traffic there. Then I'm going to start turning right. This is a good warm-up exercise for you to get nice and comfortable with the plane. So we're going to hold our altitude at 3,500 feet, and we're going to do about a 30-degree angle of bank. This is not a steep turn, but it's sort of like a warm-up turn, and we're looking all around the area to make sure there's no traffic. I don't see anybody. It's a simulator. I didn't simulate anybody, so there won't be anyone. Okay, a little descent there, so I'll pull up some. Okay. I don't see anybody around. How far away did you go from the Nance Jacks? This is kind of far. Alright, 3,500 feet. We'll go ahead and make this a 180. Either do two 90-degree turns or a 180-degree turn, and you're just making sure that there's nobody else around. We'll sit here and make sure that our main view is on this instrument panel. And check to make sure the recording's working. It is. And we'll go to real full screen again. There we go. Alright, so there's our 180-degree turn. Alright, there's an airport I see right up there about 1 o'clock, so I'm going to point towards that. That's going to be my steep turn reference. So now, first maneuver we typically do is steep turns. So we've done our pre-maneuver checklist is clear the area, mixture richen, so we push that in a little bit, and fuel on a good tank. It's on a good tank. We already swapped it once. We're going to leave it right where it is. Then, for steep turns, what you're going to do is power up about 100 RPMs. We're at 24. Then we bank into either direction, roll to 45 degrees, and pull as you roll. And we're going to hold that altitude right at 3,500 feet. Now that's frozen my altitude. I'm going to make it climb just a little bit back up to 3,500 feet and hold that 45 degrees. So I'm 99% of the time looking outside the plane. I've got my eyes on the horizon. Then I'll glance inside at my altitude, 3,500, glance inside at my angle of bank, 45, and then I look back outside. I'm looking for that reference wherever it is. Don't see it yet, but I'm going to show you that you can do this entire maneuver by looking outside.
Right here.
Where? Oh, there it was. Yep, you're right. That's hard to see in the simulator. And there we go. Okay, and we ended up a little bit low because I missed my reference. Okay. A little bit low. I'll let the altitude come back up.
So does this stuff have like radio too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I can talk with real people on ATC and everything. I'll show you that later. Alright, so now we're back at our altitude, back at 2,300 feet, back at 2,300 RPMs, pointing at our reference. I'll look again and try and find that reference a little better this time. Go to the left. A little bit of power, roll in 45 degrees, and pull as we roll. Don't let that nose drop. There we go. Now, as you can see, the nose is a little bit different. You're in the left seat, so when you roll left, the nose is going to look higher. Check my power, it's a tiny bit high. I'll pull that back a little bit. There we go. Angle of bank looks good. Altitude a little bit low, so even though that nose looks already a lot higher, it still needs to go even higher than that. I'm looking 90% outside, just making sure that nose stays right where it is, the angle stays right where it is, and I'll glance inside at the angle of bank and the altitude. Altitude's still a little low, so I'll pull up and let that nose come up even more. I missed it again? It's so hard to see. It's easier to see in real life, and maybe if I weren't so far. There we go. So keep that nose down as you roll out, pull that power back 23, there's our steep turns. Ended up 60 feet low this time. So there's steep turns. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and call that steep turns.